All right, everybody, welcome back. We are taking a closer look at XYO today, and XYO is a really interesting coin. We're kind of excited about this. So, Chris, do you want to give us a little bit of an intro on this and why it's valuable?
So the XYO network basically wants to be like kind of a ground floor fundamental network that serves as a location tracking network for crypto related things. So it's basically like your Google Maps, how it's used on your phone to like pinpoint certain locations for maps or for apps and stuff like that within your phone. They want to be basically a smart contract location confirmation. So it's kind of a cool idea that could find use in a bunch of other industries.
Okay, so it's going to be big largely for like consumer, for business to consumer, like B2C type stuff, right? So like an Amazon to you? Is that the idea?
E-commerce stuff.
eBay, all that kind of stuff, I would think.
Tracking stuff that arrives shipped to your door. They even mentioned stuff like renting cars and stuff, so you can track like where cars go, stuff like that, where they get returned to, stuff like that. They also mention potential like use for like rating systems, like on Amazon and stuff like that, or hotels. They mentioned specifically. Sometimes you might get a review from someone that's false because maybe that person wants to take down your business a little bit or something, like they didn't really stay there, something like that. But this will allow you to confirm that the person did in fact stay at your hotel, and so it's a trusted review, and it's confirmed in that regard. Or like for instance, like if a package arrives on eBay in particular, you can be sure that the package arrived at
Actually into the
person.
home, right?
Yeah,
Because they have the thing on it.
Yeah, so you can be assured of the location that it ended up with, which on eBay and stuff, a lot of people receive something and then say they never got it, and so they basically got their thing for free. And so with this, using the smart contract basically platform, this network wants to give you location accuracy.
Okay, so the short of it is basically that they take location, or businesses that have to deal with location data, they use decentralization process to make that whole experience more honest for both the consumer and the seller.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the idea? All right. So
decentralization is key. Is the key.
Yeah, because now, right, you don't have to trust anyone per se, right? You no longer have to take anybody's word because, as you know, blockchain technology can be verified through all of that. All right, good. So some of our token specifics: they are a smart contract platform. They are an ERC20 token running on the Ethereum network. The token itself is XYO. The token name is XYO Network Utility Token. Their total instance is going to be finite and capped at the amount that is reached after the token main sale, and then their projected token cap is about 48 million. So interesting here, unsold and unsolicited tokens will be burned after the token sale, and then on top of that, no further XYO tokens will be generated after the main sale ends. So they're going for the burn, which is always good, right? And always kind of helpful for the excess stuff. And then they're also making sure that scarcity is an understood portion of their kind of their economy. So as we know, scarcity usually creates demand, and once demand, higher the demand and the lower the supply, the greater the price is supposedly, right? Well,
creates value for their token.
Yeah, inherently. And so here's what is pretty interesting is the way that they incentivize the token usage. So one of the things that we see typically is like a problem like with something like Bitcoin is it becomes more of a store of value when we know that scarcity and there's going to be a lower supply, kind of in the end. So one of the things that they're trying to do in their token model is they write that the XYO token model incentivizes the miner to not just provide accurate data, but to also know when not to provide any data at all. And so as a result, the end user is rewarded to transact more when network liquidity is low compared to when network liquidity is high. So thus the ecosystem of the XYO token has the ability to remain kind of well lubricated in that whole thing. So it's kind of like it's the reverse of like when Uber has the surge pricing,
Spikes,
right? Yeah.
Like that.
So it's like a reverse spike to get people to actually utilize their type of coin. So you already touched on the network use cases pretty well, right? Just keeping location data honest through the execution of smart contracts and making sure that people can't lie about what they're trying to do and what they're trying to not do. I do think it's interesting that they're able to track like when it even gets into the home. Like that. That's a kind of a newer thing, right? Because right now we can track when packages can get to your door, but when it's actually in the house, that's like I don't know. I think that's kind of a cool step forward.
And they do the tracking through a couple different things, confirming things. Their four primary components that they mention are the sentinels, bridges, archivists and diviners, which they go into a ton of detail on their white paper. So if you want more information and their specifics on how they confirm with the level of accuracy that they do, feel free to check out their white paper.
Yeah, that's a little bit more detailed than we'll get into here. Do you have the roadmap for us, Joel?
Yeah, so basically they're just going to keep finishing up their tech and everything. So in quarter 1 and 2, they're going to complete the development of the test net so they can keep testing it. Then they're going to release it specifically to partners like IOTA companies, they say, and mobile app developers to further iron it out.
So IOTA stands for, just if you're not sure, Internet of Things, essentially. And so, again, really big in kind of business to consumer product stuff.
Yeah, and then they have some more ambitious stuff later on, like they're going to launch 2 satellites to help with their network. Yeah,
that's so dope.
They have that, and they said they're going to release sticker-based trackers, which can be added to the e-commerce packages like you were talking about. So yeah, and they're going to create a GPS.
And then that is all slated for when? In 2018?
Yeah, that's all 2018, and well, the satellites will be 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving a little bit forward. So right now, it still sounds like a lot of their stuff is in kind of the testing use case. So if this is a coin that interests you, just plan to understand this is probably like an 18-month hold based on what you're seeing here.
They're ICOing right now, so it's going to be a long term.
Okay, so before stuff gets moving, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, just it seems like it's as the blockchain is entering into all sorts of different industries and whatnot, and sort of revolutionizing as it goes forward. Having a good location-based program that's decentralized, that kind of runs on its own, essentially, so to speak, is a huge step in allowing cryptocurrency in particular and decentralized location accuracy, which forms the basis for a lot of apps, programs, things like that. So this is kind of an essential key component that I believe will find its way into a bunch of different other coins, industries, you name it. Whether it's like tracking your luggage on planes, that's another thing they mentioned specifically. But
it would be nice not to lose my luggage.
Yeah, where it could be tracked, where it goes every step of the way, how it is, and it's all decentralized. It's not controlled by any particular.
Isn't it nice that after we've had this kind of spat of ICOs that are junk? It's kind of nice to get one where even us as lay people and not really tech savvy guys can understand, like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense.
Yeah, here's the real world use for why this thing is going to do good stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay, so just a quick information on the team. Ari Trowell, I don't know quite how you say it, T-R-O-U-W, True. So he apparently is a serial entrepreneur with multiple 8-figure exits in his events. He was born, here's what I really like. He was born in 1968. So he's not like just some young guy trying to start something.
But he's not really old either.
Yeah, and so he's like right in this sweet spot of like knowledge plus probably wisdom and life experience of like what has gone well, what has not gone well. But again, multiple 8-figure exits, meaning that he's done this a couple times. But they founded XY in 2012, so it's not like this is just a quick racketeer where they're just trying to get you to invest in your hard-earned money into their thing and they can disappear on you overnight. Or if it was, it'd be like the longest con in history there. So they founded it in 2012, which is good. And then he's got a guy named Scott Schepper, who's a co-founder and head of marketing that have been working together since 2009. And so there's some trust and there's some history between some of the people on the team. And if you're more interested in that and want to read deeper, they have a whole bunch of people that are just technically sound way more, qualified than I can even begin to describe. They have some people that seem like they're solid advisors for their team. But what I really like,
website, which
it exists there.
XYO.network if you're curious.
And they have their LinkedIn profiles as well, which I just think is kind of a cool way to be a little bit genuine and transparent. So we will have to see. Hopefully this coin does well. We're kind of wishing it the best. Do we have any last thoughts on this before we sign off? Yeah, feel pretty good?
Yeah.
So, be sure to check them out on XYO.network, and then you can find them on Bitcoin Talk, I'm sure, as well, and kind of see what's going on through there. So best of luck to them, and make sure you always do your own research and don't invest what you can't afford to lose. And we are not financial advisors. Just ever.
Don't plan on becoming.
All right, peace out.